welcome to the BlabberMalt Show. This is episode 133, February 17, 2026. I'm Dave, this is my buddy Tom. We do the BlabberMalt Show live Tuesdays, 7 p.m. And tonight, we're excited to be out at Mosaic Brewing Company. We got Caleb. Bart. And Bart is down there.
Can you hear me? Yeah, is it not? No. Can you hear Dave?
We don't have name tags because we're not that professional.
Is there some? No.
It's
Technical difficulties. Our live show.
neither one of you.
Okay. You just
It's
do
like
this,
far away. It sounds far away.
and
Yeah,
then
it's
you do
not
that.
on.
How about now?
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Hey, everybody.
We're good now? All right, we're live. All right.
All right, let me drink some beer.
All right. That's probably why it didn't work. We didn't have our first beer to drink. So cheers.
Yeah, we got a cheers.
Cheers to
guys.
Mosaic.
So if you didn't hear us, this is BlabberMalt Show, episode 133, February 17th, 2026, and we are out at Mosaic Brewing Company down in beautiful Tremont. They're closed on Tuesdays. We've had people come up, try to get in the door. We're not letting them in. Beautiful view of the city, but it's all for us to enjoy tonight. So nobody else.
So where are we at? We're on Facebook. Where else there? Where can we find us?
Facebook. We're not on YouTube. I'll put it up tomorrow. We're going to be on Spotify tomorrow. We're also cross-posting on Northeast Ohio Craft Beverage News and Facebook, Instagram, Threads, all the places where we announce the shows. So follow us on all the places, like, subscribe, do all those things. And look for these guys.
Yeah, where can they find you guys?
Everywhere but TikTok.
So you're saying OnlyFans is?
That's
fair game?
yeah. Maybe Caleb. Just when he gets out of his wet boots. But yeah, we're Mosaic Tremont on pretty much all the platforms. MosaicTremont.com has links to all of our profiles. I'm in the middle of updating the website right now, so not all the buttons work, but all of the event buttons and our socials work, so that's good.
Fantastic. And you guys have a newer location, so it's fantastic you guys let us come down here to visit with you guys and see the new place. I think it's been open since October-ish of last year, so just a few months. They are on the 2026 Cleveland Brewery Passport, one of the couple new breweries to come visit. And you guys are open Wednesday through Sunday?
Monday, yeah. We're open on Mondays.
All days except for Tuesdays?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, when these guys open, we're excited and we contacted them. Hey, can we come in? Let's do a show. Like, dude, we just opened a brewery. We're kind of busy. So we finally, excited to get out here. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful facility.
And as you said earlier, we've got Caleb Brown, who is the head brewer,
Yep, that's me.
and then Bart, who is the general manager.
Yep.
He's a jack of all trades, I assume.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Wearing all the hats.
Plus web developer,
Yeah.
content creator,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah. Head bar back.
And I'd say our paths crossed at Bookhouse. So there was a while there where you're kind of running that, pouring us great beers, giving us advice on beers, and talking beer, all beer things at Bookhouse was the time I kind of got introduced to meeting you. And now you transitioned over to here, and we couldn't wait to come try the new stuff. All right. So you guys been open. This building used to be, what was this building before?
He'll answer that better than I will.
Yeah, so the half of the building that we're sitting in right now was originally the Cleveland Marble Mosaic Company. They were, first generation Italian immigrants. They built this place. They came here from Spillembargo, Italy. The business is still family owned, third generation. They're just off of Brook Park down there by Parma, over in Old Brooklyn area. But yeah, that was that, up until the 60s, late 60s, early 70s. A guy named Bruce got a hold of the building, and that's the expansion where our tap room and our tank farm is, and Caleb's brew house. And he did like a screw and die manufacturing out of here forever. And then the two partners that are also involved with this, Ed King and Toby Hagedorn, they bought the building a little over almost 3 years ago. And Toby just kind of found it, like perusing the neighborhood, rode his bike down here, right off the towpath, across the street, looked up, was like, huh, that's a cool looking building. And, they were looking for an operator to join the team, and I joined the team and brought Caleb with me, so we've been together for some years. And so we're the third tenants in the building, and we're just excited to give it, some new life, and, excited
How
to see
cool is
people
it
in here.
that it has Mosaic in the name,
Yeah, it was, Toby and Ed were going over like 45,000 different names or something before they opened, and or before they met us. And when they were going to community meetings, and later when I went to community meetings, everybody just kind of referred to the building as the Mosaic Building. And then it's tongue-in-cheek with the hop thing, So
Yeah.
we got lucky.
Yeah, that's cool.
The brewery and the building named itself.
Pretty much, yeah.
So we should mention, we start us off with our beer in a nice stein. What are we drinking?
This is our Helles. It's called Helles of a View. It's 5%, just a simple, easy drinking German-style Helles. Super delicious, I think.
I would agree. It's very, very smooth. It's not too dry. Sometimes you'll get the dry finish on sometimes the Helles. I'm not getting that with this. It's very nice.
And it's something we kind of wanted to do, a Helles instead of, almost everybody else does a Pilsner as their lager, and so we kind of did a Helles just because, kind of to be something a little different. And
Just for the hell of us.
yeah, exactly.
That was almost the name, actually. We named this beer like 30 seconds before we opened. It was going through a couple names, and then I was like stressed smoking outside. And Ed, our partner, came up to us. He goes, "Here's 3 names. Which one do you like?" I'm like, "Oh, I like Helles of a View." And then he's like, "That's the one I like too." We just fist bumped and we just ran with it. But like back to why we chose Helles, the market's ready for Helles. The #1 gold medal winning like light beer, like in the categories, Costco beer done by Deschutes every year at the Great American Beer Festival. So even the yuppies are used to Helles. And yeah, like Caleb said, everybody's doing Czech Pilsners, and our partner Toby's German, so we decided, why not?
Very
Yeah,
nice.
it's a delicious beer. Take another little.
Drink up. Yeah, 3 more.
Oh, cool. So, I got to ask you guys this. Didn't you get the memo? Craft beer is dead.
No.
It's done. Nobody's drinking beer. Everybody's drinking seltzer and mushroom water and THC beverages. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't really talk much onto the mushroom water. You might want to hit up our friends Crooked Pecker for that one. But all love, guys.
It's good for your liver.
But no, I think like the craft beer like boom is kind of going through a weird transition right now. Everybody was just like the hops arm race forever, like who can make the biggest, craziest IPA, which was good for brewing science. It kind of pushed the envelope, and we learned a lot about hops and dry hopping, biotransformation and all these things. But I think a lot of people did it for the greed. Right, you just kind of like see a brewery like be successful, and then somebody with some capital steps in and wants to open, a small place and then outgrow its pace. Whereas, we coined the term neighborhood beer that some of our friends give us some crap for, but we mean it. Like if you stay small and then you focus on the local community, like all of the the ancient small breweries did back in the day. I think that there's room for success for everybody in that market. Really take care of these 4 walls in this community. We have some friends that are going to be opening up a brewery in Lakewood with like similar thoughts. We've had some friends see some success in the past with being a small neighborhood kind of place. And if you look at our draft board, like half of our drafts, we have 28 different drafts, and half of them are not beer. Not everybody's going to be, a beer drinker. So we have a bunch of, different mixed cocktails up there, ciders, NA options, and even a seltzer. That we're not making it in-house, maybe one day, but, we're that true community hub, like Vibe.
Yeah, I think when we were at River Roots and we were talking to Tom, he's been everywhere brewing, and he was telling us about the Wallabies production facility off of Sperry. I didn't even realize it was there. But that was back in the day when the business model was open with as big a system as you can, and grow and get into distribution as fast as you can, and that's how you become successful. And I think that's how you spell disaster these days,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that the neighborhood brewery is making a giant comeback. I think of Two Friends in Euclid. They're just catering to that
To that
community,
neighborhood, yeah. I mean,
and
we-
they're killing it. You know.
was the best, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
When you get people, and you talk about, you know, the European tradition, I mean, we can get people to walk to your brewery. I mean, if you think about here in Tremont area where you're at, I mean, as we're driving through here, seeing all the houses near here in the neighborhood, I mean, you could have that, which that's a great asset to be able to have a place where people can walk in, have a beer, go back home, and not have to worry about parking, not have to worry about making it an event versus just a fun thing to do. And I do think, you know, again, looking at the geographics, I mean, Tremont is known and has great restaurants, but they don't have a brewery. I mean, you could, the Tremont Tap House was, you know, I don't think they're ever brewing down there. They had some stuff going.
Small batches.
Small batches. You've got stuff, you know, up the hill in Forest City. You got stuff across the river. But, I mean, right in this area, you guys found kind of a niche place where there is not a brewery. Even though they might be one within 5 miles, it's going to be 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
Sure.
Just because of the roads.
Hey, Chris, when is the Tremont Tap House opening? When's that going to open?
I think you got that question a lot on Sunday. But, yeah, right.
Anytime I see him, I bring it up.
You know, we're very blessed to have the support from the community that we've had since day one. Even before day one, you know, you can see like this big green mug that Caleb's drinking out of right here. That was like our Mosaic membership, you know, like our mug club. And we promised the members that it wasn't going to be another dusty mug. We get together and do quarterly events, educational stuff. It's really big for Caleb and I. And, you know, we go to these block club meetings. You know, we've been teaming up with like Tremont West a lot of local organizations, doing some stuff with the Canalway partners. Our light went out. I probably should have charged that, but some professionals we are. And then, yeah. So you know, we're extremely grateful, you know, and blessed that the community's, you know, been so kind to us, and we do see, you know, regulars, you know, every day coming in these walls that, you know, want to learn from us and hang out and just kind of become that space that we want to be and set out to be.
Very nice. I mean, I know jump a little bit here, Dave, but you mentioned your tap. So how many beers of your beer do you generally keep on tap?
Well, for sure we have 8 serving tanks, and so we always have at least those core 8 normally.
So
And
they're coming straight from the serving tank.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, you know, we just opened in October, so just trying to keep up with demand. We just now, probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be having more variety of our own stuff coming on. We're working towards that, but to me, we bring in stuff from Urban Artifact because
Comes another one.
they do a really good job making fruited sours, and it works a lot better for us just to bring that in than for me to try to make it right now. Same with the ciders. Like, I can make a cider, but we can buy these really great ones. So kind of stay in our lane and focus on doing what we can do best is kind of the goal with the beers. You know, like we have 2 IPAs we normally keep on, and those always kind of rotate based on what hops I can get. So we'll always have a West Coast, and then we'll always have a hazy is kind of the goal, and those just kind of change as we want. And then it's very lager forward, as you can tell with what we have on, but also a lot of English, you know, styles and lower alcohol, easy drinking English beers.
Have you run into any problems where what you thought would be big sellers turned out to be not really what was selling, and you had to shift and put some other things on?
So far, no. The bigger surprise has been that ESB is a style that people really like, and that like Boddington style, you know, kind of easy drinking pub beer is something that we've sold almost everything on there has sold at almost the same rate, which has been very surprising for us. I was hoping to not have to like dump, because we kind of took a leap with some of these English beers, because we installed it to where they're poured on nitro, and so the King George and the ESB are always going to be done on nitro until we can get a hand pump and do cask style. And so that's been a big surprise to see that this kind of niche, kind of obscure kind of style in the light of craft beer as a general, like English styles are kind of like pushed to the side.
Yeah.
And IPAs are king, and then now lagers are really popular, but you have all these really beautiful English styles that are very underserviced, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people are put off by ESB. Oh, extra special bitter. I don't know about that, but no, it's not really that bitter, and it's not
people that say
like
that-
an extreme beer. It's
Yeah, I mean,
very
a double IPA. Oh, I don't like a regular IPA. Why would I like it being doubled? I'm like, if it's a true good double IPA, it's actually smoother, not as bitter. It
Yeah.
generally smooths
Yeah.
out. They're like, oh, well, try it. Don't just
Right.
go by the name.
Seems like
yeah. Name can be deceiving.
No one can hear us.
Yeah.
Are we having sound issues?
They're saying turn up the volume.
Okay. Don't worry about
Okay.
it. Oh, don't listen to Ray.
Our,
Yeah,
our,
no,
our
no.
producer is
Yeah, no.
squawking at us.
No, but yeah, like talking about the English style, like I just poured one each for us. This is our Ernest. Caleb and I, like he means that we were kind of like living or dying by the sword when we wanted to open with an English style, beer on nitro right away. It was the first thing we brewed, and it's based off of this 1939 Boddington's recipe. I'll let Caleb kind of talk on that more, but I'm a huge soccer fan. Like we try to watch as much soccer here at the brewery, and me and my friend Bob would always drink Boddingtons for the first half and then Guinness for the second half. And you just can't get it anymore in the Cleveland area. And, when we teamed up with Toby and Ed really wanted, like his version of Guinness on tap, named after his father, which we loved because, Ernest is named after Caleb's grandfather and uses these Ernest hops that almost went extinct. I'll let him talk a little more on that, but we're just like so excited that people just dove in and are enjoying, English Bub Ale on nitro with us, which is kind of wild.
Ed is one of the founders, too.
Yeah, Ed's our man. Yeah, so King George is named after his father, George King. It's not like an English reference, pretty sure, or maybe I don't know, but it's kind of funny because it's a dry Irish stout and it's named after King George, but it's actually named after a guy named George King, and we were told that he was, a jolly old soul, if you will, just a friend to everybody. He never had an enemy, and just would always raise, a pint of Guinness, and we love that kind of stuff. We love the family heritage. We love history, and we love, digging into it. I'll let Caleb talk on that.
Would it be true to say that there's a little bit of, I'm almost getting honey in this, though? Is it just something bringing out the sweetness and the honey in this? Nitro?
Yeah, the nitro really smooths this beer out because it's kind of, there's a decent amount of hops in it, but they're English hops. We use Ernest and Bramling Cross, which are both pretty fruity for English hops, but not citrusy. So like Bramling Cross is kind of like this, has like black currant and a lot of other fruit notes. And then Ernest was developed in like the late 30s, but no one wanted it because it was too American. And I found somebody selling some. I'd never used it before we opened, and we were like, well, it's on sale. Let's get it because we could make this beer. And I don't know. It's one of the few beers I've made when the first try of a recipe, after it was done, I was like, I don't know what I would change to make it better. Granted, there's a lot of little things here and there we can tweak to make it better, but it's like, I don't know, it just drinks so nice.
Pretty good.
It drinks really nice.
Yeah,
And
it drinks very smooth and kind of made that to the honey, the fruitiness of what I'm getting out of it. Yeah.
And people that don't like IPAs, they like it, but people that do like hops like it because there is a hop character there, and it's super easy to drink.
Yeah.
I think some of that's just the nitro, and there's not that carbonation, but I don't know. I've been really happy with it.
Yeah, it's I like to drink beer, and when you're having some beer, I want to have more than one. Well, if you have a 9% IPA, well, I'm done now. But these you can crush them, like you say. Watch a soccer game. I don't watch soccer, but I hear people do, and
We
I like it.
play football and baseball on these TVs too.
Yeah,
Or the Olympics.
Yeah, a lot of Olympics
Yeah.
lately. Some big curling fans coming in.
Even with the controversy.
Is there controversy?
Yes.
I don't know about this.
they wanted to have they wanted to have umps come in because somebody was squawking about he held on to the thing too long
Really?
before letting go, and they got into a big fight, the two countries, screaming at each other, and they said, well, we should have umps here.
This is perfect because whenever I think of curling, I just think it's like a handful of dads from Wisconsin, right? That like made the Olympics somehow. So like these are like the soccer dads or the football or baseball dads, and of course they're going to be bickering with each other, right?
Well, and that was the thing. So they thought about bringing in the umps, but then everyone got even more upset about that. They said, no, this is a game where you're supposed to regulate yourself. You don't have umps. It's like the backyard game where you call, if you're offside, you call it yourself. You don't have somebody call it.
It's like the hometown heroes, It's like it's the Olympic sport we can all try to do.
So it's gentlemanly and gentlewomanly, I
So
guess.
we're talking about, you've mentioned some of your styles of beers that you like. One thing that we, on the BlabberMalt Show, a lot of time ask our guests are your gateway beers. So what beer, and again, it's going to be generational depending on your age, obviously. If you're around, you guys, you probably were around when the craft beer industry really started. I was a little bit before that, so I was more into Germans beers before I got into craft beers.
We're going bald,
But-
buddy. We're not that young.
But the question is, obviously maybe in high school or college, you had to do for price purposes, drinking the Buds and the Natty Lights and all that stuff. But what was that beer that you had and said, oh my God, I might start spending a little more than $1 a case on a beer because this is worth the flavor?
You go first.
I go first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about it.
I don't have to think about it. I've been drinking beer a long time. My group of friends in high school, you're not supposed to do that. Don't do that, kids. But we really got hooked on Rolling Rock because we found out if you store it in the woods, it tastes the same warm as it does cold. And, that probably has something to do with, like all the M2B because of the green glass and the high amounts of DMS that were in that beer at the time. And then we later find out as brewers. But I'll go back and have one every once in a while. But I think the two, like, kind of like crafty beers, I'd say, that I really got into first were I grew up with, like, really close to, like, an English family, on the west side of Cleveland. And we would always find ourselves drinking Newcastle Brown Ale, which was awesome. And then I would steal beers from my friend's dad's fridge, and they were Doppelbocks from Sam Adams. He was pissed. Like, he's just like, you guys are drinking my good beer, It's like, but outside of that, we drank a lot of Blatz. Blatz was like the go-to.
Sam Adams, I mean, that definitely had an impact on a lot of people's lives, I think.
Yeah, they have an impact on our taxes right now. As small brewers.
Yeah, that's right.
Pushing the envelope with craft beer.
All right, Caleb?
What do you say, Caleb?
One of my first craft beers I really enjoyed was Mothership Wit from New Belgium.
Oh.
That was I really enjoyed that. I was into a lot of the Belgian beers, kind of like I didn't drink a ton, and so it was like when I did drink, it was like, oh, I'm gonna pick out some weird bottle of something like a Belgian triple or like weird stuff. Or then it was like Guinness, was another one, or Boddington's was another. Because it's one of they're those beers you can just like keep going back to, and it's always really good.
All right.
Consistency, it's like the North Star, right? It's like you can go, like, even Arthur Guinness started Guinness. It's just like, I'm not sending, like a brewery over there if like you don't come back with the right like water readings, and like can't like source the right material to make the beer, like keeping things, just like very consistent, I think is super huge. So, shout out to Gormley's over on, west side of Cleveland's best pint of Guinness. We got Stone Mad, Pride of Erin, like Parnell's, like places that keep, proper pints of Guinness in Cleveland. If you want to throw some darts and like hang out, watch some soccer, we'll be all right.
We're thinking about, side note, doing a St. Patty's Day show from Pride of Erin.
Oh, yeah. Talk to Colin. He'll do it.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be crazy, but hey.
It may not be at 7 o'clock at night.
I don't know if you want to be there at 7 o'clock at night. The people that will still be there might
People-
be a little goofy.
Yeah, people want to fight you and stuff like that.
Gotta bring cash, though. Cash only.
Cash only.
Cash only.
Oh,
It's only a Friday area.
Good to
good
know.
tip. Good tip. Yeah. Show up with my credit card, and I'll have to fight somebody.
So I mean, you mentioned the Hellas. Do you tend to have right now, and is it because of the theme you're trying to get with Mosaic, or is it that you like more the British traditional German style beers? I mean, what is it? What's causing that? And am I correct to say that that is kind of the theme of the beers a little bit? Is
Like doing German and British styles.
yeah.
Right now it is, but we have some fooders we're working on getting into use, so that'll bring in some more Belgian stuff. Because in my background, I've done a lot of mixed culture and sour beer production, and like that's going to be.
That's how we met.
That's going to be.
Was that at Funkinship or? So that was where you got where paths first crossed.
Yeah. So that and two, we're still growing into the space and the system. We've only been open for like 4.5 months or whatever, 5 months. So it's like just getting into a rhythm. And then two, it's been keeping up with these core beers we have, and then we'll start to like layer in, different Belgian styles or whatever.
What is the size of your system?
We got a 7-barrel system. PKW, steam, normal stuff. It's pretty simple, but it works good.
Yeah, I think I can add on that a little bit. Like Caleb and I first met at Funkinship. Caleb was taking some time off. He was in like sabbatical at the time, and when I was like in production brewery for like a while. A couple of different ones, two of the bigger ones in Cleveland. Found out I'm not a factory worker, and like my skill set definitely is like operations kind of guy, but I love beer, love the history, love the culture. And then I got a phone call from, at the time, Anheuser-Busch was like in charge of platform, and it was a nice paycheck from somebody that like scrubs tanks for a living. So I was like, I'll go, but like there's no way that this guy can make killer mixed culture beer. Just like it's like one of my favorite things on the planet are English ales, and then the mixed culture beers, like fresh fruited beers. And I go there and I'm like, holy shit, this guy's like world class. Like, what the hell's he doing? Like over by Metro Health in Cleveland. And I didn't meet him for like 2 months when I got there. And then when he came back, he's like, who the hell are you? Why do you care so much? And we immediately became like best friends. And then the goal was always to open a brewery together from there. And I can't wait to get back to that mixed culture stuff. We just did like a lambic class here. We're really big on like beer education, like free education here. So I put kind of some of that material in front of you guys. But Ralph Merritt just came out with a book in 2022 that retells the entire history of lambic beer. Like with the pamphlets you guys have in front of you, he mailed those to us when he found out that we were teaching these classes. And like that little like slideshow presentation like we did with people, we were very fortunate enough to get a keg of Cantillon on tap because we're really pushing the envelope. We came out with an open letter to like all brewery education providers and everything, and sent it out there, just asking them to take this book seriously because Mr. Merritt comes with receipts, and like what we know a lot about Belgian lambic beer has been told like fairy tales because like Belgian nationalism, like tourism, marketing, and us being big beer history buffs, we just think that everyone should be held accountable. Like these are great stories, and they served a purpose, to like building up like, family breweries back in the day over there. But we should probably still teach like the actual history, and something we're going to challenge ourselves to do moving forward. Not only educate, Clevelanders, to the best of our ability with these things for free every month, but really like take deeper dives into like a lot of the history for like different styles of beer, and kind of like retell it with like what we can find using other authors that have done all this research. So it's like we're not just like in it to make money. We're in it because we're really crazy beer nerds and love it, right?
Yeah, I mean, when people, again, the name of the beer is, lambic, it's a sour beer, it's a wild beer, I don't know if I'm going to like that. Well, you should really try it because there are some great
Some
beers.
good ones, yeah, and some
Some
are
great
the,
beers.
I found that when we went to, Funkinship. I mean, there were some beers there that I really liked and some that were a little too funky for me. But you tried them and you got to expose yourself to different things. You get to know what you like and what you don't like. Because it's very hard to completely dismiss an entire style of beer because there's so many variants of it. And I think you give yourself a try, and people like different things. And just because you like an IPA doesn't mean you're not going to like a funky beer, or if you like a funky beer doesn't mean you're going to like it. Everyone's taste is different. You just try it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love a lambic. I love a Brett beer, anything. Like, yeah, I'll try anything. It's great.
So, Caleb, I mean, did you start out as a home brewer? What got you into beer? I mean,
I had started reading some homebrewing books, and then at that same time so I'd done like a little kit, did like a Belgian double or something. I think was my first.
you started out with a Belgian double.
Yeah, because I was like that. Like I said, I didn't drink a ton of beer, and so I was like, well, I do like these Belgian styles. Why don't I make one of those? And so I just got a kit from Grape and Granary and did it, and it was okay. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And then, but was really more.
Now, were you on the stovetop or in a bathtub?
This is in the stovetop.
Stovetop, all right.
Yeah, and so I was really interested too in the science aspect of it all. So it was like more like just read as much as I could about it. And then I was being trained. I worked at a grocery store, worked in the wine and cheese department, then the produce, and then was being trained as a meat cutter. And one morning at like 6 in the morning, I'm like wrist deep in chicken livers, and I'm like, I don't think this is what I'm going to do long term. And I was like, okay, well, I like this home brewing idea. Maybe I can go get a job at a brewery.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be fun.
Like what year?
This is like 2012, I think 2011, something like that. So I happened to walk into Thirsty Dog it was in the fall, late summer, early
Was that
fall.
still when there was the production facility?
It was in the production facility over on Grant Street, and I walked in.
I love that place.
And happened to walk in when the brewmaster Tim was on his lunch, and he just saw me like fresh meat, and I knew how to carry on a conversation. So he was like, "Oh, you're hired," because anybody knows about Thirsty Dog. At that time of year, it's how much 12 dogs can we make and how quickly can we make it. And so he saw that I wasn't a total idiot and said, "Well, and then called me the next day and said, "Hey, we'll bring you on to be a brewer." So pretty much I started on the packaging line and worked my way up. And then a few months in, the guy that was running their like sour program, he left, and the owner looked at me and said, "Hey, you're in charge of the barrels and sour now." And I'm like, "What's sour beer?" And so that created like, once I started tasting some, it like unlocked this whole new layer of passion for making beer, to where I started emailing and like talking to anyone that made, and this is 2013, 2014, like there's not a lot of people doing production sour beer at that point. And so I started contacting anyone that made it, anyone that was good at it, and like trading yeast with people, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And that's kind of like sparked a lot of my direction.
And then the Sour House eventually kind of broke off to its own building, right? At
Yeah.
Thirsty Dog. So were you there for that part of it?
So I was there before the Sour House, and then I went to New York and ran a brewery in New York for about 3 years.
Oh, what brewery was that?
That was Catskill Brewery.
Buffalo.
Yeah, right. It was in the about 2 hours outside of New York City, and we made lots of Pilsner, lots of IPA, and then we had some fooders. And so we had like a Brett beer we did, and then a bunch of mixed culture stuff. So I was there for about 3 years doing, I was brewing 30 barrels of Czech Pils every other week to keep up with the demand, and then doing like 2 or 3 different IPAs. It was like a small production brewery.
And then you found your way back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
And
then that's when I came back, helped open the Sour House.
for Thirsty Dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was after Aqueduct had closed, and then they're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, well, might as well, let's open this." And then they had a small brew system there.
That's why I can never remember that one. It was right
Yeah.
next to him.
Yeah, they
so,
had.
So there was a rumor There was a rumor. So Aqueduct beers were a little challenged in their flavor profiles.
Yeah, that's one way.
And
Great guy though.
oh, and it was a great atmosphere, great building. And there started an urban myth, which actually made a lot of sense, was that the sours were seeping through the walls from Thirsty Dog and getting into their beers and messing with them. Because they were it was all down there in the basement across the brick. And I'm sitting there saying, well, that makes sense because all their beers had a funky taste to them. And I could see where, some of the sour yeast, the Bretts, and could definitely do that. Any truth to that?
I don't think so. I think when things don't turn out right, it's easy to point a
the
finger
environment
somewhere else rather than like, oh, maybe I should clean things better or ask for help or different things. But
I refish yeast so many times.
yeah, there's a lot of, but that building has its own
Characteristic.
terroir for sure. That's I've been through all layers of that building, and it's a crazy place.
So Bart got us another beer here. It looks like That's My Batman?
Yeah.
All right, so what kind of beer is this? Tell us about
This is a black lager, so it's just a nice, simple black lager. Tastes really good, I think. People really like it.
5.2%, easy drinking. Yeah.
Almost everything we make is in a little bit lower alcohol range just because that's what we like drinking. And also we're trying to go with that neighborhood brewery vibe where it's like, you're going to come here with your family, with your kids or whatever, and then you're going to have a few beers, then you're going to go home, but you're not going to be like totally sloshed
You're
after
gonna be
one.
tore up. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a very nice. Again, when you look at the color, you're hoping, or it's got some nice malt backbone into it, and it does have some of that characteristic, which I like. Definitely very easy drinking. Very
Yeah,
nice.
all these are thrown back. You just throw them back. And then trying to restrain myself. I'm not trying to get crazy on the BlabberMalt Show here. I'll be blabbering for sure.
It's interesting. That is a style though that's not very popular, the black lagers. So what got you to do this one?
So when I was in New York, that was the guy that was at the brewery there. He had used to work for a bunch of different people in New York City in sales, and Uinta had a black lager, and it was a huge seller in New York City. They pulled out of New York, and so he was like, hey, we have a giant opportunity here. Let's make a black lager. And so we made this black lager to kind of fill that gap. And so it was something that was, it wasn't our best seller there, but we were brewing it pretty regularly. And then, this isn't quite the exact same recipe as that, but I've honed making that style there, and then came here, and it's been greatly loved.
The brewery actually later on used Caleb's recipe and got a silver medal at the World Beer Cup with it. But we're gonna make it better.
Yeah.
We're not big. We're not like
Gold.
You're gonna get
We're-
gold, no silver.
I don't. We're not like big like metal junkies. Like that's not like what kind of gets us off as like being brewers. Like I know a lot of people are, and it's like fun and competitive. And I know that sounds like a cop out or whatever, but we haven't submitted any beer yet. Maybe we will one day. But like our big thing is just like sharing, our beer with people and like getting the education out there. Because no brewery, I don't think, is doing anything like we're doing in all of North of America. Like we've been trying to pay attention with like these free educational classes we're doing. That's really what I'm going to push here, because like when I was a young brewer, like forcing like Will Kometz or Sean Yasaki to be my friend and bugging them with all these stupid questions over and over again, I realized that there weren't too many resources out there for like people trying to get in the scene. Darren Cross at the Cleveland Brew Shop was like one of the biggest ones, right? And at the time, Will Kometz, he's head research and development brewer for Fatheads, but he was the shop manager at the Cleveland Brew Shop. Like the Cleveland Brew Shop was like Brewers College for Cleveland for a long time. Like Reed came out of there, Corey Miller, like a lot of people came out of there and like went on to do like really cool stuff. So I kept bugging this guy named Will. I was like, hey, we're going to be friends. And I think I just annoyed him enough to where, like,
He's like, I don't like you.
yeah, we both watch Chelsea matches together and stuff, you know. I'll go in the Fathead's lab and hang out and bug them, and they're like, get out of here, here's some hops or whatever. But I think just being able to open up that community a little bit more, you know, is huge. And I'm hoping it catches on with more and more breweries that, you know, 'cause there was a lot of smug brewers too, you know, that didn't open up their doors, like when the young guy comes in, tries asking questions.
There's a little protectionism, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. Like Caleb won't tell you like what blend of yeast he uses in the lager tanks.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, but he's also the first guy. Like if you care and you're in these classes, he'll tell you everything that you need to know for free, right?
Yeah.
So like we're giving away like the stuff for free, and like we're not God's gift to brewing by any means. We're just trying to do our part, and I think like a big part of that is just like opening up that community a little more. You know, like we just had a huge home brewing event here, you know, where the brewery gets to scale up a recipe. And that was BJCP sheets, but we want to make it like even more inclusive. And we're going to be doing a big homebrew contest in July, we said, right? For IPAs. And it's going to have a whole new scoring sheet that we come up with. And like our professional brewer friends kind of give us like insight on it. So where we're not like scoring you for a style that's written in a book. We're scoring you on, did you make a good beer and can we make it? And here are some tips or tools to like help you brew that beer again if you want to, probably like better, right?
That's pretty cool because you may brew a beer that you really love, but it doesn't quite fit a category for BJCP. So you're like, well, do I put this in the sour category, put it in the Brett category?
And that was Caleb's idea too. So.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
So
Maybe I'm going to enter something.
Well, you won once, didn't you? A long
here
shot?
we go. Yeah, yeah.
What is your favorite beer or beer style to brew?
Oh, that's a hard question. I really love like brewing the same beer over and over and over again and like fine tuning it. That can be any.
So different iterations of it until it gets
Well,
that
like I loved being a shift brewer and making 12 dogs or making Pilsner or making whatever week after week after week.
I hated making Christmas ale.
Because I love I nerd out about the fine details, and I nerd out about like improving the process, doing it a little faster, doing it a little more efficient. But I also like hands down probably my favorite thing to brew is like doing really weird processes or like weird mash schedules or like really weird stuff like mashing in a barrel or like cool shipping or like using weird ingredients.
That beer would have won, by the way, if you just put it in the category I told you to.
but then
Not talking about medals, but
but then having that whatever weird process you did, making a beer that like someone who likes Bud Light is like, oh, that's a really good beer. To me, that's means more to me than a medal. It's like someone who's like when the farmer coming to pick up the grain and he only drinks Bud Light or Coors Light or something, and you're like, hey, try this, and he's like, wow, can I get a keg of that at my house? To me,
that's a big compliment. Yeah.
then you know it's like, wow, that really was a good beer, because it's easy to like get like pigeonholed in like your world of like I'm drinking these weird esoteric beers that are really complex or whatever, but it's like normal.
we also do.
Right, but like we do that, but it's like normal people just want like something that they can enjoy, and so I don't know if that answers the question very well, but it's
So the other side of that question, I'll ask the GM this one then is, and it's only been 6 months.
Could that guy get a keg of beer if he wanted in his house?
Not yet.
I did hook the guy up.
Yeah, cool.
What is your best selling style of beer? So forget about taste, forget about what works, what's the masses. Has there been one that you have trouble keeping on tap because it just keeps getting emptied and you got to keep up production on one specific style and or beer itself?
Yeah, that's a good question because you said style, right? Like IPA is still obviously king if you add up all of the different little named IPAs that we've done. But our number 1 and 2 sellers, like just like on their own right, is our Helles and our Black Lager, like our Batman, right? And I think it's just a cool, like, I don't know if it's like gratifying in some kind of way, or like how you want to phrase it, but the fact that maybe pigheadishly we went into this thing and we're like, we're going to brew lagers and English ales, and like we're going to focus on making these the best that we can, you know, with Caleb brewing them over and over again, and kind of keeping that, like, there's like 4 or 5 beers we want to keep around all the time, and then kind of experiment. Kind of got us in a little bit of trouble. As you can see, there's like some blank lines up there, but you know, we're still young and we're still growing into this thing, and they'll eventually like fill out. But I just think the sheer amount of volume that we've sold in 3 months, you know, after managing a bunch of different breweries, exceeded all my expectations. So like, that's really just on the fans and, like, you know, our patrons that come in here, like, and keep coming back, you know, and the new people wanting to try stuff that we like drinking and talking to them about it. Caleb works in a very exposed brew house, and sometimes, like, you know, days run a little later, and he'll be the first one to talk to somebody and be like, hey, why are you drinking that English beer? Like, and they're like, I don't know, it's good, you know, and like, that's really rewarding. But I'd say Helles and Batman have greatly surprised us. Even King George is hard to keep in stock. You know, there are a lot of great Irish brew pubs, like, in the neighborhood. Like, even, like, down the street, you know, we got one. You know, Stone Mad's not too far in the next neighborhood over. You know, down we got Flatiron down there. And, like, people come here and they drink King George, and that's a testament to Caleb's beer, you know.
Do you guys keg anything off for any local bars?
Yeah, we just started, actually. That's why I put them behind me. It's kind of like a nod. Like, if there's anybody watching, send me an email, bart@mosaictremont.com. You know, we opened and launched right when we were still putting systems in place, and it's starting to settle out right now. Like, I just launched the new website today, and all the buttons aren't there yet, but there is a button to the new beer school. There's a button with more info on our trivia, you know, and then just if. You know, I think the funniest thing, though, is, like, people that email you and they're like, hey, what's your current draft list? I'm like, really? That's all you want to come in here for? You don't want to, like, see? I like to see if somewhere's open, and then, like, what do they have to offer, and find out, right?
Are you afraid that you'll sell some beer, put it out there, and then another line goes blank? Like, oh, I don't want to move too much beer into another
For
bar.
sure, yeah. No, yeah, like, yeah, it's going to be a balancing act and, like, a learning thing, right?
Caleb's
And,
like, hey, slow down, sell them the beer.
He is kind of, but like, we're never going to be in cans, like in Heinen's or Giant Eagle or anything like that, right? But we want a handful of accounts that are cool accounts that, like, you know, are maybe friends of ours or people that are passionate about the thing that we are as passionate about, and then we're okay to give some kegs to them. Like, it's probably not always going to be the same keg all the time, so, like, John Lane's not going to buy my beer, right? But, like, the little mom and pop shops that, like, clean their lines and they care and there's, like, cool community vibe, I'm into that more, I think.
Well, now, hold on, you know, don't say you're not going to be in cans or bottles. Like, if you start doing some cool sour stuffs, people might want to age it.
But we'll sell those here, though, you know, like.
He said we wouldn't be in cans. He didn't say we wouldn't be in bottles.
Okay. Point taken.
I mean, that's a big testament. Say that the two of your top selling beers, though, are dark beers. So you're telling me that the King George and the Black Lager, that's fantastic. I mean, that you do not have too many places that can say that. I mean, people generally are scared of dark beers for whatever reason. But if those are two of your top sellers, that's a testament to the people around here that are coming in that probably have some beer knowledge, and that you guys are
Because they're educating them.
They're educating them, and you're brewing one heck of a beer that's not scaring people off once they get over that color fear. They taste it and realize, oh my God, this is really drinkable and tasty.
Well, I spend a lot of time, like, you know, on the other side. It's not pine, it's oak, it's red oak. But, you know, like the phrase is, like, on the other side of the pine. On the other side of the oak here, you know, when you're serving beer, my favorite question isn't, you know, like, what style of beer do you normally drink? It's like, what are your favorite flavors? You know, what's your favorite drink of all time? It doesn't have to be beer. Like, well, I like Diet Coke. And I'm like, all right, well, you didn't give me much there, but there's a little bit of something in there, right? Like,
Yeah.
you like some kind of like caramelly, like kind of, you know, like maybe a little thicker thing, right? So then I'll hit them with, you know, like the Batman. And, you know, even though it is, you know, like a really smooth drinking beer, but there are notes of that, like caramel and chocolate. And, you know, it is a lager, so it doesn't finish super dry, like you were saying. And they're like, oh, this is smooth and good. I'll take that. And, like, that's, like, you know, a 45-year-old mama, too. That would normally probably not drink a giant stein of, like, black lager.
Yeah.
But opening up that conversation, being like, what do you normally drink? You know, like, there's
I
something
like
up
Malort.
there. Yeah. Well,
Get out!
To the doors.
get out. Well, there are friends in the neighborhood that have Malort, you know. Like,
We'll point you in the right
please go to Coda. They have great music, and they have Malort.
Oh, that's funny.
I despise Malort.
You know, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. First time I had it.
I think it is.
It's not great.
So your journey took you back to the sour house you opened up for Thirsty Dog. Then you eventually moved over to Funkinship, or is there something in between?
Yeah, so I was working at the Sour House, and then I grew up in Colorado, so I was trying to move back out to Colorado and trying to find a job out there, but I could not find it.
With all the breweries out there. You
Yeah, well, I could find plenty of jobs, but everyone's like, well, how am I going to live on what you're going to pay me? And then a lot of them were like, well, I don't know what I would do either, so...
I cut meat.
Yeah. So I kind of gave up on that, especially when a Budweiser recruiter reached out to me to come and run the Funkinship. I was like, this is a great opportunity, and I kind of have to take it. So I did that for about 3 years, and that was, you know, I kind of had a lot of preconceived notions about what Budweiser was like, probably mostly because I think their distribution side's a lot different than the production side. The production side, it was like the most welcoming group of brewers I've ever been a part of, doing some innovation classes and stuff. Which that was, I think, kind of that little bit of that culture is something we're kind of trying to bring in here. Of like, we're inclusive to like home brewers or other breweries. You know, we've told all our staff, hey, we don't talk bad about any other breweries. Like, we don't like. Doesn't matter what they're doing, we're doing this. But yeah, so I was at Funkinship and kind of really got to do a lot of really cool beer, and then they closed it down, and that was really sad. It would suck to lose a job, but more it was like, here are these projects that are like 2 or 3 years old
Oh,
that
that's
were
right.
just getting ready to go to
age-
package.
So what happened to those beers?
They just dumped them.
They dumped them. Oh,
Like I was trying, like we were working to like, I was trying to like be like, hey, we'll buy these, and then I can package them. But it was like, I had done some like historical style mixed culture stouts that were like, that were like 15% alcohol, had been triple barrel aged with fruit, and they were just like the most delightful beers. And they were just getting ready to like I was ready to package.
I need a drink.
I was just getting ready to package them, and then it was, well, you have to go down the drain.
Oh,
So that hurt more, I think, than like losing the job. Was like, here's like these
Did you
multiple.
like drop to your knees and the camera zooms away?
Almost.
oh, that is so sad.
Yeah, that was sad.
All right, and then what happened after that?
Then I took a short detour to get the brewery Tricky Tortoise open, but then we were working to get this open at the same time, and so I wasn't there for very long. They didn't last very long. I don't need to speak to that.
Okay, I'll speak off camera about that. All right.
Yeah, we can talk.
I'll ask my questions then.
You know, the guy who opened it, Bobby, he's a great guy. We'll just leave it at that. I feel I'm sad that didn't work out, but Willoughby has a really weird beer scene, and people there drink weird stuff, and it's just a different
There's also
world.
a great Irish pub there too.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name, but I remember Caleb and I got Guinness one time when I went in there and visited you. And there was also a great Irish pub in Willoughby. Can't remember it. But.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah.
We're off topic.
I'll throw in that the parking lot doesn't help.
No.
Hey,
You gotta pay to
Yeah.
park.
pay in Willoughby for parking.
All right, so then,
dumb.
and then you, after you'd met with Bart at Funkin' Ship, you went over to the Willoughby area. Bart went over to, I'm assuming that might have been the time you head over to Bookhouse-ish. And you guys kept in contact and just kept thinking and dreaming about having your own place.
Yeah,
And
because about 2 weeks before Budweiser closed everything, we kind of looked at each other and we're like, hey, like things aren't probably going to continue. We should start working to try to like make a business plan and like start something ourselves.
Yeah, it was the first time I bought a personal laptop in like 10 years, I think. You know, outside of like work laptop, and we weren't working on it there, but like we would meet outside of Funkin' Ship, and we were like, all right, let's like, we're best friends now. Yeah. And then it closed, and we're like, yeah, no shit. Like, it was just like, you know, it wasn't Anheuser-Busch's fault. I'm gonna say that right now. A lot of people think that it was. The Wyatt platform closed, and I'm not going to open up that box of worms like on live microphone. But come see me and drink a beer, or maybe I'll tell you. But and then like
It wasn't not their fault.
it wasn't their fault. And then so like I was there, I saw it all. And then Anheuser-Busch was very kind to me. They paid for like a Cornell degree. They paid for me to get my second level Cicerone. They spent a lot of money on me personally, trying to make me the best me, and like that's kind of why I'm here right now today. I have nothing bad to say about that company. I just don't want to work for Big Beer. It's just not my thing, you know. I'm a hometown guy. I grew up in Slavic Village, then moved to the near west side when the neighborhood turned, and now we opened a brewery in Cleveland proper, and I couldn't be prouder. But I will say this: Caleb and I were going to start Brown and Gabbard Brewing in the old platform space on Lorraine. And we have logos and like business models and stuff, and we scouted out a couple other locations. But after meeting Toby and Ed, and you know, there was like two other like partnership groups that we almost partnered with. We chose Toby and Ed, and they chose us. And like it's really, really hard to find like your best friend in brewing you want to start a brewing with. It's really, really hard to find a Toby and Ed to like kind of like help you get that vision. Yeah, they've just been the coolest dudes of all time, you know. And I wish Ed was here, you know, but he's feeling a little sick. He could probably like talk about it more, but they had this idea to open a brewery, and then when we came in, the idea expanded, and they've been really collaborative. And like this place is truly uniquely like a part of the four of us, where it's not Brown and Gabbard Brewing, you know, it's Mosaic.
It's a mosaic of people.
yes, that's very
So to
perfect.
speak.
Name a double entendre there, or triple.
Quadruple. Yeah.
All right,
So we do have to talk. Oh, we do have another beer.
yes, the Cape
talk about
Cod,
this.
Cape Cod Cascade.
Yeah, it's Cape Cod Cascade.
So Bart Gabbard really loves Vampire Weekend, so we name a lot of our hazy IPAs after
That's a band, isn't it?
weird, obscure Vampire Weekends references. So this beer is a beer.
Straight out tell them like
This beer is a beer made with Cascade hops from Michigan and also Cascade hops from New Zealand. So it's kind of I love Cascade. It's probably one of my favorite hops. And so
You
it's,
gotta use a lot of it.
this I didn't use a crazy amount in this.
This is
'Cause it's a
nice,
low-
citrusy.
Help us.
But it drinks really nice. I
See, we can make hazy IPA too.
think.
I mean, just looking at the color, and I've got this thing where some of these hazies sometimes have that. I can just describe it. It's like a chalky finish at the end. I was maybe expecting that just based on the viscosity of this, but it is not. This is smooth. It is fruity.
It's like pineapple orange juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So the name, The name, all of our hazy IPAs will forever be called after a Vampire Weekend reference until I run out of it or they sue us. But I don't think they will. They seem like cool guys. But yeah, it's just fun. But yes, this one's called Cape Cod Cascade because they have a song called Cape Cod Kawasa. It's spelled like that, so that's why the Cascade's spelled weird. And then I'll let Caleb talk about like why it's 2 Cascades and not 1.
Well, with Cascade being a hop I really love, Michigan Cascade has like a totally different flavor than the hop grown in like Oregon or Washington. And so I just had the idea. I was like, I'll do a hop. We're doing a hazy with all Cascade, but I'll get 2 different growing regions. Because I saw a place had some New Zealand Cascade.
So this is using Cascade hops from Oregon and from Michigan?
No, just Michigan and New Zealand.
And New Zealand, okay.
I didn't even know they made Cascade hops.
But they
Well, New Zealand ones, that's where you usually get the pineapple, a lot of
a lot more fruit character.
the pineapple, the
But-
New Zealand ones.
But
yeah.
then the Michigan Cascade, you get like this raspberry, strawberry, fruity kind of thing with it. And so kind of, I don't know.
I have one over there. I just couldn't get you the earnest because it's on nitro. But,
we have some of the BlabberMaltsters here
Yeah, they're like, I wish we could taste
drinking
it.
along with their crawlers here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is really good. 6.2.
And I'll go back to that thing that all these beers, and not that there's 2 thoughts. I mean, you've got the Budweiser drinkers who are thinking 5% and 6% are such heavy beers. Okay, you have the craft beer drinkers saying they're only 5% and 6%. These beers, I guess I'm more on the craft beer side than the Budweiser side, are not.
Let's face it, Tom, you're on both sides.
I-
You're on
I
all
do.
sides.
Pick up the Rolling Rock. I do the same thing. I mean,
That's why it takes.
but these do not taste like some typical 5% beers, even in the craft beer industry. They're all very full-bodied with lots of flavor. And sometimes when you do get those, and I've been told by some brewers that it's sometimes harder to brew a lower alcohol beer with flavor because for whatever reason, I'm not a brewer, if you get the 7-8%, flavors come through a lot stronger and it's a little bit easier. But to get that 8% IPA flavor in a 5% is a difficult art. I mean, is that true to say? I mean,
Yeah, because it's anything that is wrong with the beer when you have that lower alcohol, everything shows up. And so,
Can't hide it.
like a triple IPA or a big imperial stout, you can have a not great fermentation or be a little bit off, and it's still going to taste good. Is it going to be amazing? Probably not, but it's still going to taste good. Whereas some of these beers, if you're not all on point on every part of the process, then you start to pick it up.
Yeah.
yeah, like part of that, like, like Caleb always talks about balance, like building a beer that's balanced is more important to him than anything. And like he has his pyramid of importance when it comes to a beer, balance being like the pinnacle, the top, right? And then clarity like lives somewhere down that I haven't seen yet. He always gives me shit because I'm like, oh, dude, our lagers aren't like clear. And that's like what the consumer expects. And he goes, well, too bad, because I ran. Yeah, because it's like we'll get there eventually, but like we're still 3 months old on a brand new system, and our beers are pretty damn good for like like the first run on some of these, second, third run on some of these, and he always makes fun of me because I'm like really into music, and I was like former musician and like stage manager back in the day, and I ran speaker wire through all this place and like crawled through every hole, and I run through a tube amp. And I run lossless audio through a tube amp, like through like real speaker wire, because I'm like it needs to sound good. Yeah, well, you're nerd. Yeah, we're nerds here. It's okay.
No, it's awesome.
And
like 'cause I'm like it needs to sound good, because I can't tell you how many places I've been to, I went to, and I'm like the audio sucks. Like it's one of my pillars. The audio needs to be good in here, because I spent 7 days a week here. Like, I need to hear some good tunes. And he's like, finding and filtering my loggers is like you not running through a tube amp in a solid state. And I'm like, okay, fine.
No,
We're going to have to check out that sound system
Yeah.
after the show. Yeah. So we gotta talk about the food here, because you guys have a pretty crazy menu as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's Chef Los, dude. It's like it's his brainchild. Like Toby and Ed like really wanted to like have like pizzas, like be the focal point, like tavern pies, right? And then Los worked with a bunch of different people, and like April is like our main baker now in the mornings. But the dough recipe, it's like high hydration grist, and they took some from Nolan helped them out with that recipe. I forget Nolan's last name, but he used to work down at Creekside, like over in Brecksville down there, and now he's with Chef Vinny over at Rosie. So like he's just a master of craft when it comes to like baking, and like he wants to get back more like on the food side of things. But Chef Los has like been murdering menus around town for a long time. Like he's really really good at what he does, and for us like he's the perfect person, because he's like really structured in like home style, like Southern comfort kind of food. And like so pizzas is like our main thing, but he put his flair on everything. Like we don't have a spinach and artichoke dip. We have a cold collard green dip that is like really unique and amazing. We don't have a beer cheese dip. We have a pimento cheese dip, right? Like so his Southern flair comes out like across the menu. Like our hummus is chickpea hummus. It's not, or it's not chickpea. It's black-eyed pea hummus, right?
Wow,
Yeah. So
say, yeah,
sorry,
chickpea
chef,
hummus.
sorry, chef, but it's like we love Los, and we love everything that he's helped us create here, and he's a busy guy. He also like does like stuff for like Pearl's Kitchen, like in the Cleveland Foundation, and he also does 2 chefs in a beat like pop-ups where it's just a bunch of local chefs doing their thing. And I don't know how he does it, but he's got a good team back there, and we're really proud of them to like just keep it cooking.
Yeah, so you guys come down here, get a pint, get a pie, get some chickpea hummus. No,
And the kitchen's open at the same time as the regular brew pub. Closed a little bit earlier.
Yeah, right now the kitchen closes like about an hour before the brewery closes, but we might push that to like half an hour. And then,
Every day, like Monday, kitchen's open as well?
every day but Tuesday.
Sorry.
Today's Tuesday, but kitchen's open every day. We have a badass brunch on Sundays. Sunday's the one day where we open like super early at like 10:30. That's just super early for us. And it's vinyl brunch. Like we spin vinyls through that cool sound system I was talking to, and the 2 bartenders, Derek and Josh, kind of curate like a different theme every week, and like we'll post like little hints about it. And then Chef put together like an amazing brunch menu where we use roaming biscuits like as the base biscuit, and then he puts his stuff on there. We have like sous vide egg yolk that like we use like on a shashuka pizza, and then just like a bunch of different like fun off the wall stuff. Yeah.
that's not your normal bar food
No.
right there. Sous vide egg yolks on a.
Well, like honest, but it's honest food, right? Like we want
Yeah.
like honest food that people like, right? We don't want to go too over the top, but
Yeah.
Might be a little gastropubby there.
It really is. It really is.
Sure, we say neighborhoody.
Neighborhoody, is that an adjective?
All right. Should we get to the boil?
Yeah, let's get to the boil. So, what's going on with you guys coming up as far as like events? You guys do trivia. Do you ever have music up in here with the sound system? It sounds like you should.
Yeah, no live music as of yet.
Okay.
It's something we're working on. Licensing is quite expensive, and we're fairly new.
Right,
so
right.
we spent all the money. We need to start getting the money back, so please come visit us. But we've been busy, which has been nice. But
We spent all that money on that PKW system back there.
Yeah.
Shiny stainless.
yeah. It turns out boilers aren't cheap. But beer school next Thursday, February 26th. Caleb and I are going to be talking about the history of porters and stouts in London proper, with a like crazy timeline slideshow, and then Caleb will kind of talk about like the nuance on like recipe building and stuff like that. absolutely free of charge. Just so go to our website, like click our faces when you see them down there under events, and it'll take you to the link to RSVP. And that's just so we know place setting stuff. So I know it's free, and if you say you're coming, just please come, because like we take time and make it really nice and organized for you. Like otherwise, it's just a bunch of stuff.
We've got the slideshow
Yeah.
printed out, and yeah.
Trivia every Wednesday. It's super packed in here, and it's only on the first floor. So if you want to come to trivia, it starts at 7. I recommend getting here 6 to 6:30, eating dinner, hanging out, especially if you're coming with a big group. But that's every Thursday with Cleveland Awesome Trivia. The host, Brian, I worked with at Bookhouse. Awesome dude, hell of a curator, a lot of fun, a lot of good time.
Is it a theme?
No, we
Just
will be
general?
doing theme trivia probably quarterly or every other month. I just haven't got to figuring out what
Gotta
that's going to
study.
be yet. But yeah, maybe beer's the first one. It scares everybody away. But yeah, and then we also host private events on our second floor. Like if you're looking to book a room, it comfortably seats 30. We can stretch it to 36. Buffet style based off of our menu. And there's 2 dartboards, an 85-inch TV up there with the grandest view of Cleveland. Like, you know, you can find anywhere, especially at night when it's lit up. There's something just so special about it. But we will be pumping out a lot of events in the near future. Look for music bingo. Look for more like beer-centric educational stuff, because that's what we really want to hone in on.
So
Cool.
yeah, follow them on Facebook and Instagram and see what's going on. Anything on the homebrew
OnlyFans,
side?
yeah. Well, I cleaned out the garage. Garage floor is scrubbed down. I got to clean the pots. I'm going to do a Belgian. I think I bought the French Saison from White Labs. I'm going to do that, and then put bread on it. Age it like 3 months, or we'll see what happens. See how it's tasting.
I'm
So-
not waiting 3 months.
Well, well, maybe I'll pull a couple bottles off. I don't know. We'll see what
about co-pitching that bread.
Yeah, I will, because I was going to do it Saison first, then the Brett, but I don't know. Co-pitching maybe is the thing.
I recommend it.
Okay. We'll speed it up, huh?
Yeah.
Speed up the process. Okay.
All right, so that's coming soon. All
Yeah,
right.
it's coming to the BlabberMalt studio
Near
soon.
you.
So, I don't know, we're kind of going a little long here. I don't know if we can go into the... I really wanted to talk about our friends that have won medals at the Ohio Beer
I
Competition.
mean, we
Yeah.
can mention a couple. I mean,
Yeah.
quickly.
Some of the BlabberMalt alumni,
Yeah.
I think on the last page here. I had Claude draw up this beautiful...
Well, we
Document
got
here.
Jennifer from Bell Tower did,
Yeah.
right? Luke from Collision Bend and his team out there, Mastheads.
Luke still brews?
Oh, shots fired. No, I think
He's a good friend.
I think Ben is
Ben's Brewing. all right.
brewing all those. Yeah.
Bum and Beaver, our friends out of Bum and Beaver, I think in the Porters. I mean, locally, Sean, trying to get you on the show. We talked to you. I know you're busy right now, but Noble Beast Sean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's worth mentioning that.
He's too cool to hang out with people. He's trying to figure out how to tailor jean jackets.
We were so close.
So
and from Red Wagon, picked up a
Masthead.
couple.
I mean, we can mention Masthead and Noble Beast won Breweries of the Year at different sizes. Masthead being above how many barrels
I
a
think it
year?
was 25,000. The number was 25,000 and below less than 25,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took a gold and 3 silvers. Noble Beast took a gold, 2 silvers, and a bronze. Pretty awesome. Brew Kettle, Ghost Tree, Red Wagon, Four Paws, New Berlin also took for their Old Dick. I just wanted to say Old Dick on the show. That's all I wanted to. That's all I really wanted to
Berlin,
do.
but
You chose this show?
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
all right. But I will say, you can look at the list. Northeast Ohio had a very good showing at the awards. Again, this was all of Ohio.
I think our friend's immigrant son won one.
Yep.
Yes, they did. Yep. So once again, dudes, we want to thank you. You set up this totally professional panel table here. We got name tags. We got
Swag.
we got printouts. We got swag. We got full beers. We got sample beers. I mean, you guys really took care of us.
Thank you so much for having us,
Yeah, it was awesome.
sharing your time, your stories, your place with us.
You know, maybe we can get him back in the studio.
Maybe.
Yeah, next time at your place, trying your homebrew.
Oh shit! I gotta get brewing. Yeah, Thursday for sure.
All right.
Yeah, we would love to join you.
Sweet,
Right.
excellent. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll do that. We'll do that for sure.
All right,
so-
what we got coming up?
We got stuff coming up next week. We're going to be with Darren at the Cleveland Brew Shop, the new space, just off of St. Clair. There, it's pretty cool. So we're going to check that out. Following week, March 3rd, we're going to be in studio with Jen from Destination Cleveland, talking everything about the changes to the brewery passport this year, and talking about all the breweries that are in. So
And
that's
again,
going to be cool.
mentioning Mosaic being one of the new breweries this year that's on the passport.
Yeah, get out and check them out. Yeah, right. The following week, March 10th, we're going to be at Laughing Bomb with Zach and Carl from Brick and Barrel, talking about brewers that are also making wine and the challenges and similarities for the different types of fermentation. So I think that's going to be a good show.
I'll give you some good material to Carl with.
Yeah, give us some slides. Give us some slides. Yeah.
Then we have St. Patrick's Day, the next one, and I officially on the Denise on the spreadsheet have put you in charge of finding our location for the 3/17th show. So she's in charge of that. So the BlabberMalt Show will, at least for some time, be live that night. We don't know how long we'll be live.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
But we'll be broadcasting from some location,
Yeah,
at least for a
well,
little bit.
We'll put it out there, and we got some other cool stuff lined up. Some really cool stuff.
Yes,
Yeah,
we've
can't
got
talk about yet.
a couple returning guests at some cool places coming up.
Yeah. So if you have any questions or concerns, or you want to rag these guys about mistakes they made, blabbermalt@gmail.com. We'll be sure to pass it along. We, however, will never correct anything. We never make mistakes. Or take.
We never correct our mistakes.
We never correct them, and we never take responsibility in any.
And then just quick shout out to Emmett. Emmett, sorry you drove all the way out here, but next time you come into Mosaic, I got a round of beer for you.
Oh
buddy.
no. Emmett Hines?
Yeah.
Oh no. Sorry, dude.
We could have let him in if we knew his name.
Makes me sad. He drove out. Anyway,
I don't know what.
all right. So like, follow, subscribe, follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook. What else? Where else are we? We're at all the
That's
places.
enough
Any-
places. Beacon Link if you want to get some swag for
Yeah,
the
get some
BlabberMalt
swag.
Show. You see Dave here with his shirt
Some
on.
cool new shirts got Tom's name on it now.
Follow Mosaic. Find out what's going on with them. They're on Instagram, Facebook, and all social media except for TikTok.
Yeah.
So find out what's going on there. Come down here, visit them, taste their beers, try their food. See
Come to a class.
come to
learn
class
something.
and the beautiful view. I mean, just as we were from the car, from our parking on the curb here to walking in here, we barely made it in here because we kept stopping to look at the beautiful view of Cleveland
That's
from
right.
here. So
But don't spend too much time. Get in here.
we gotta get in here and
Drink
drink.
some beer. And study. Learn something.
Just check out the rooftop patio.
The rooftop
Oh,
patio, which
do
we're going
that
to see
too,
here in
yeah.
a second. It'll be off camera, but we'll tell you all about it. All right. Well, till next episode.
Stay malty, Cleveland.